going to Texas Parks and Wildlife, correct?
Well, they will administer to make sure that it's spent in accordance with some sort of a plan and it's not squandered, and they'll be kind of like the caretakers of the money. It doesn't mean it'll be spent on wildlife parks. It'll get spent on what the county approves it to be spent on, but they will be, at least the plan is, and this isn't finished yet, but the plan is that they'll be kind of the stakeholders for the state's portion of the money.
Just add on to that question, the state senator as well, right?
Yes.
And they could then submit bills for using that money directly in this community for specific projects as well.
Right, we're looking on the state level to have a bipartisan bill put into place. And so we have met with the representatives, and that is actually in the works right now. And I'm going to Austin at the end of this week to meet with the executive director of Texas Parks and Wildlife. So I am communicating as a representative of the community, and that's why I need your guys' input, because I go to these meetings to be your voice and carry your message. And so I'll be doing that on Friday with Texas Parks and Wildlife, but as well, all of the offices are in communication. The county, the state, they're all communicating.
Can I ask one more question? Have a lot of the wells, private wells, been tested? Do you actually know what the issue is?
Not no, and that's another issue. That's another thing.
So that would be a service.
It is a service, and it's something that the county does get involved in, actually, in testing well water. We have a contract to do that, and our public infrastructure department administers it. Normally, it's not free to just anybody who wants to have it done if it's a private well, but this may be a source of funding for some of that. And I think the important thing that Jack was talking about working with these other state officials, and I apologize for my criticism of Governor Abbott, because he hasn't even taken a step. That's really not fair. I apologize for my criticism of Governor Abbott, because I haven't even given him a chance yet. I've just based my comment on some things that were reported in the press about local government. But I will say this, that the idea that, the $10 million the state has could be a lot of money to do something like fix up infrastructure for a community. It's not a lot of money in terms of Austin and the legislature. And it's the kind of thing that it won't be that hard or that difficult to get back here, from what I've been told. That if we do the legwork, talk to the right people, work with them, that our representatives from this area will work very hard to see if that money does come back. So it's not like it ain't going to happen. Chances are real good that it will happen. And we put that money with the money that the county gets, and perhaps with funds that are available from other sources, and maybe even from private industry that might want to participate in some of these projects one way or another. We really could do something good for the community.
Sarah?
Could you reiterate some of the things that our other meeting we had, because my mind is blank and I can't even recall, of possibilities of ways that we can have the money used for that would be a decent purpose of getting, what are some of our options to help us even get thinking about what we want?
Right. Well, with your experiences living here, everyone is going to have different experience. If you're on a well, you may feel that the most important thing, first and foremost, is well water. In general, maybe as a community, we may all agree that even those of us that may have city water will agree we all need city water. We all need water that is regulated to some extent. So that's, a very dominant theme tonight. Whether it's land conservation, maybe conserving some of the land on the riverway, remediation type projects. There is an area just north of the main pit that has dioxin that may or may not be remediated in the Superfund process, to my understanding. So could it go to maybe remediating other areas of the river? Also, other ideas is education and outreach. If every time we all stopped to tell people that we saw fishing, that they should not be consuming the fish they caught, or that they should not be consuming more than 8 ounces a month if they're a male. We could spend all day, every day doing that. So maybe is it going towards education and outreach for something like that? Or for private well owners to get testing done and to figure out, maybe through a monitoring well per se, and figure out, okay, what are the threats, what are the risks, and how can the individual homeowner protect themselves? Because most homeowners that have wells, at least my family, we didn't know we were supposed to do anything to protect ourselves. We thought we had a pristine water source. That's what we were told when we bought the house. It passed the bacteria inspection when my parents bought the house, so we thought we were good to go. And unfortunately, that's not always necessarily the case. So maybe some education for those private well owners. Miss Beebe.
I've listened to everything, what everybody's saying. I've been to, several of the meetings. I understand the urgency, but I really think that we need to also focus on our future, which is our children and our grandchildren. Unfortunately, my grandson was born with cancer. They found it at 6 months old. He's still with us, he's still alive, but there's a lot of children and families that have lost people to cancer. I can't get back all the times we were in the hospital or holding him down while they stuck him with needles. I can't get any of that back, and that's painful, and we all have gone through some form of pain like that. So we need to also look at, I have property that I want to leave to my children and leave to my grandchildren. And it's just an acre, it's not a big piece, but that I want to be able to leave them something that's safe. It may not be time for me, hopefully it is, and hopefully we get a lot done in the next few years, and I live long enough to see it. But we have to look forward to the future. And any kind of infrastructure should have some recommendation or some recourse to the people that suffered here. The people that suffered here should not be forgotten in any way, shape, or form. The people that died, the family members that died, the children that suffered this cancer should never be forgotten. It's just like 9/11. We should never forget that. This community should never forget this dioxin spill. We should be an example to the entire United States that we can fight this, we can win, we can do what we can to fix it, we can move forward to the future. That we should be the best example in the whole United States that we can do this, because these things are all over the United States, I'm quite sure. And secondly, I would think there would be some form of committees that could say, if you bring this forward to the Harris County, correct, that makes the decision, this will be something that they will consider and they will pay for. There should be some form of committees that will say, well, we want to build a big park. Well, no, that's not going to happen, okay? But we want to build a water infrastructure for the whole town. We want to, commend it to the people that suffered and died here. Or is that something that would pass? Is that something, because as a layperson that's not, been in the courts, and I have no idea how that works, there should be some committees that say, this is some things to help guide us. We don't want to be told what to do, of course. We're our own people, but to help guide us into things that we can use it for. I think the water infrastructure is a must, in my opinion. But there should be something to remember the people and remember the suffering that this caused, because it should never be forgotten, ever. When I'm dead and gone, my children should know, my grandson, who is here with me, should know what happened and why this happened. It should never be let happen again, ever. This community is a strong community, and I moved here 9 years ago from Baytown because I wanted to live in a little community that's very family orientated. When you walk into Food Town, everybody knows everybody. They know you, and I love that part of it. I love the older buildings, and I love Highlands. I didn't know that this dioxin was there when I moved there, and I feel bad that now my grandson had cancer probably because I moved here, but you can't beat yourself over with that. But it's gonna take time, it's gonna take a lot of time, but we have to look forward to the future, we have to be an example, and we have to make a mark. We have to make a mark with this money that says, we did it. This is what our community did. We fought them, we beat them, this is what we did. And we need to show the country that we did this. And that's all I have to say.
Well said.
Thank you very much.